Hey guys, so I wanted to do a revisit on TEQ LR Fusion Zamasu, who released a year ago in the 2023 Worldwide Celebration, and just see how good he and his team perform in the current global meta, which is almost identical to the JP meta. We are basically just missing the Goku and Frieza fight. Zamasu is easily one of my favorite characters in Dragon Ball, and I prefer running teams and characters I like over the new most busted teams in the game, so that's why I really wanted to do a revisit and see how good he holds up still. Now this video is gonna be pretty long. I have no items, Supreme Magnificent Battle, Super Saiyan Blue, Evolution Vegeta, Blue Gogeta, Sword of Hope Trunks, Red Zone Kid Buu, Memorable Battles, Beast Gohan, Movie Boss Rush and Cell Max. But I have also sped up the footage because otherwise this video would be 2 hours long and nobody wants to see that. First off, we are going up against Blue Evolution Vegeta, the current hardest fight on Global Dokkan. This fight, I feel like, is one where Zamasu can really spread his wings and just show how good he is, because with this fight in particular, the beginning phase is just brutal and not a lot of characters can withstand these kind of pressure that the Blue Evolution Vegeta and Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku can put up early on, which of course is one of Zamasu's biggest selling points. Zamasu is really good for first turn. He has 80% damage reduction and gets a lot of defense on hit, so basically the first turn he's up, he's nigh invincible. Now this team, I'm not going to use the same 6 characters over and over again in this video. One of Zamasu's biggest strengths is his leader skill. He just has such a huge variety of units he can run on his leader skill, and I'm trying to take full advantage of that. So I'm not just running all these busted Rebel Gods characters like Blue Evolution Vegeta, UI Goku, both of them, or stuff like that, because otherwise this would probably be pretty boring, and also these characters would just steal the showcase from Zamasu, honestly. Instead, in this run, I'm also running a worldwide chaos team, basically, with Golden Frieza and 17. Yeah, I'm also running them a lot in this video because they are just really good. Even on a 150% leader skill, they just perform excellently. I also brought Rosé because I just wanted to see how good he performs in this fight. And also, I mean, I'm using his domain here because I kind of wanted the extra stats for these Zamasus in case Blue Kaioken Goku and Evolution Vegeta, super. Which, spoiler warning, I don't think they do this turn actually. Yeah, it's actually weird with these guys. I've noticed this a couple of times now where even though they can double super actually in a turn, there are a lot of turns where they just don't super at all. Anyway, I transformed into Rosé, or I transformed Rosé because I wanted to give all my units the extra stats, at least on this rotation. And also Rosé, once he transforms, he becomes really good. You're gonna see later on a turn where he is performing honestly amazingly against Blue Evolution Vegeta. My Rosé has now 3 dupes in him. I put him a lot on TEQ UI Goku's banner, and the difference between him at 55% and him with dupes is just astronomical. Let's just say that. Both Zamasu still took all these attacks for double digits. That's pretty good, even though they only had 60% damage reduction. I'm transforming with Gohan, of course. I want to get the extra attacks, extra stats by attacking as early as possible, and I'm keeping him with TEQ Evo Buu, who I can transform next turn as well. And since he's TEQ, I'm not really too worried against AGL or Blue Vegeta. That's also one of the reasons why Zamasu is good in this fight. He of course has type advantage, and even with only 40% damage reduction, that should still be enough to at least not insta-die against Blue Evolution Vegeta. Now, Gohan actually got tagged by the super twice. First time he managed to dodge, the second time he got hit, but he only took like 450k. That's not too bad, and it's honestly, and the good thing about these Buu units that I'm running is you can sustain some damage. It doesn't really matter, you're just gonna heal all of that up anyway. And also, I mean, it doesn't gonna come into play now, but I could have used Zamasu's active skill now. But of course, because Dokkan is a bad game, you can't activate multiple domains at once. I still want this fix at some point, and preferably before all of these characters become irrelevant, but I'm really not holding out my hope at this point. Now here, yeah, I'm putting Zamasu in slot 1 because I don't think he's gonna die. Also, I'm below 70% HP, which means I will also get extra defense. So even if Blue Vegeta would have supported Zamasu here, I don't think he would have gotten one-shot at anything on this. And also his attack stat is pretty high, with Rosé's domain up, and no support and stuff. And now here's the turn I was talking about, where Rose just goes absolutely ballistic against Vegeta, just does billion supers against him, and you're gonna see he's also gonna perform really well defensively. So we're at 11 million. I think this was his 4th attack, this is his 5th attack, this is now his 6th attack. I think one of these was also the guaranteed super from 10 attacks or something. Now this is his 7th attack for 90 million basically, and his 8th attack for 22.5 million, yeah. Pretty good. Once Rose gets going, not a lot of units can replicate that. And he tanks that super for 207k damage basically, which is pretty ridiculous considering this is pretty much a 3 million attack stat super from Evolution to Vegeta, and he just takes that for nothing. Like, he took less he took less from that super than fact booted from that one normal from Vegeta, dude. Yeah, but now I'm reviving, of course, and yeah, I'm putting Evil Buu in slot 1 because Super Buu with 70% damage reduction and guard, I don't really have much to worry about. I put Zamasu in slot 2 because I'm a bit worried for all of these attacks at the end. Probably was a little bit over careful, but because if I put Evil Buu next to Gohan, of course his attacks I would have been even way higher. And I couldn't really predict that he would double super because I'm very unlucky with TEQ Super Buu when it comes to supering, or double supering I guess. He just almost never does this for some reason. It's even though I gave him a lot of additional. I guess I'm just really unlucky with this character. Yeah, probably if I had both Boos together linked up, I might have actually finished off Vegeta this rotation, who knows. But it's not really the end of the world. Gohan might have actually attacked both the super because he doesn't super here. Now Zamasu's Rose's domain is finished. Now I can use Zamasu's and have an invincible unit in slot 1, of course, which will always be really valuable. That's one thing that just is never gonna age, honestly, because Zamasu's domain, once he goes domain, he always will be invincible, no matter how hard event power creep jumps up. That's of course a really high value for Zamasu, of course. I actually put Rose in slot 3 because I was a little bit scared that he could get one-shotted by Vegeta, but honestly, I think I was a little bit over careful once again. I could have put Rose next to Zamasu with Big Bad Boss active and probably would have just beaten Vegeta like that, but I guess this way I could give Gohan Frieza and 17 one time, I guess. So now we are going up against Blue Gogeta in the Supreme Magnificent Battle event. I'm basically almost using the exact same team again. I'm just have replaced Rose with Kid Buu, which honestly, looking back, might have been a mistake. Probably not the best idea to run a physical unit against a SDR boss that can hit for 3.5 million H on the super, and then does AoEs for 1.5 million. And of course, AoEs really screw over Kid Buu because he won't be able to do his super to get to his whole defense and stuff. And without his extra defense, even with 70% damage reduction, he probably would have gotten one-shotted or something from his AoE. Now, spoiler warning, I will not be hit by these AoEs with Kid Buu, but honestly, in retrospective, I should have just brought AGL Zamasu instead of Kid Buu. I really don't know why I didn't do that instead. But anyway, yeah, with this fight, honestly, it's not really that difficult with this team. The good thing about the Zamasus is also that they attack lower on the 18 key, which of course is gonna help a lot against Gogeta once you reach SDR Gogeta, because all of them can be attack debuffed, and once attack debuffed, also his AoEs don't really hit all that hard, or at least aren't really that much of an issue. And Zamasu, once he is transformed into his domain, he can just sit in slot 1 and soak up all the damage. Now, he got hit by a super from the LR Gods, but it doesn't matter. I mean, 80% damage reduction, of course, is not gonna take anything. I put Gohan Frieza on 17 slot 1 here because I at least want him to get some supers in so they can build up fast. And Goku and Vegeta that. Now we're going up against the transformed version. Again, I mean, this fight is not gonna become difficult until we reach TEQ Gogeta, I think. The first 3 phases are kind of just there to warm up and just get your rotations ready, and then you can basically go against Gogeta, Super Saiyan Gogeta at full power, basically. Yeah. TEQ Evil Buu, of course, really good slot 1 unit, as long as he dodges. But even if he doesn't, I mean, most attacks he can tank just fine because he also has 70% damage reduction, but against these really hard hitting boxes, of course, he needs to dodge. Yeah, not really much else to commentate here, just going through the motions. Kid Buu, Fat Buu, I don't think I get his revive off this run, but it doesn't really matter. He's mostly just here to be an invincible slot 3 unit basically, who can also revive if needs be, but if I don't have to use it, it's just fine. And also his Ghost Usher could really help against the final phase. I don't remember if I actually get to do it, but probably because I'm already at turn 5 and only against the Super Saiyan Blues so far. Yeah, I'm not really going quickly in this run because, you know, if there's one thing this team build lacks is firepower, offensive firepower, because none of these characters are like offensive powerhouses, you know. I could have brought, of course, some other characters like the, oh my god, also Cold Freezer and 17 are kind of popping off right now, I'm sure. But I could have, of course, brought characters like Blue Evolution Vegeta and UI Goku and stuff like that, who can also hit really hard. But like I said, I don't wanna just bring these 6 super uber busted Gram of Gods units and just let them carry Zamasu with them, and he does nothing the entire run. That would be kind of, yeah, pointless. Honestly, at least I wanted to make some team builds where Zamasu at least contributes to the fight, you know? That's why I kinda held back with bringing all of these really stupidly broken superclass units. Of course, later on I will have to use some of them because these villain teams are just not really that well equipped for some of these fights. Oh yeah, let's talk about teams for a little bit. With Zamasu, back then when he dropped, a lot of his detractors, I would say, pointed out that his team is pretty lacking, and that's why he is like the worst worldwide celebration LR or something. Well, first of all, that was always never the truth. He never was the worst LR from that celebration. It was either Trunks or Vegeta, honestly. But it was still a fair point to make that his team was really not that good. And that's definitely something that was always true. Like, I remember most of his team builds could barely crack 600k HP, which is pretty bad for a worldwide celebration LR, honestly. And also just the options that you had on that team were pretty limited. You know, you had to run Zamasu, of course. AGL Zamasu was also pretty much a must run, who was really good, at least, but still. You also had to run Piccolo Jr. to at least have some offensive firepower, and then the rest of the characters were also just kind of mid, honestly. Now, of course, things look way better for Zamasu. I would say he's in a way better spot than he was a year ago, because his team has gotten so many ridiculous buffs over the year. Starting with Worldwide Chaos, of course, or these ridiculous Majin Buu units that got dropped during Golden Week really elevate this team a lot. Also, Realm of Gods, I have talked about this earlier, has also been sucked off relentlessly for the last 6 months. We got Gogeta, we got all the UI Gokus, Evolution Blue Vegeta, we got Jiren, you know, stuff like that. So yeah, Zamasu's team is really good now. The only part of his leader skill that's still kind of irrelevant is Fuse Fighters. I honestly still don't know why they gave him Fuse Fighters and couldn't have just given him something else. Because, I mean, first of all, which characters would you even run on that leader skill right now? Because all of them suck, except for Orange Piccolo, I guess. But yeah, hopefully this year the villain, whoever that's gonna be, their leader skill makes a little bit more sense. Who knows? Okay, we're now up against STR Blue Gogeta. Now here I remember I was pretty scared, because if Blue Gogeta had supered before doing his AoE, I would have died, because of course he gets a shit ton of stats from his super, and then his AoE is just gonna hurt way too much. Neither Zamasu nor Golden Freezer and 70 could have handled that. Luckily he didn't super, so I still survived, although Golden Freezer and 70 still took a lot of damage, but it's fine. Now he supers, but it doesn't matter because I'm invincible. And then Zamasu can also lower his attack, which is pretty good against Gogeta, of course. I still think, does he take? Yeah, he still takes damage actually, which is what's actually surprising to me, not gonna lie. Especially this much, I almost died here, dude. I guess just lowering his attack once didn't really help all that much. But actually it's not really the end of the world if I take this much damage, because of course I have all of these ridiculously broken Majin Buu units. Also Golden Freezer and 17 pop off once again. They are still bugged, I think, on global, where they don't get their guaranteed additional super when they are below 70% HP for some stupid reason. I hope they're gonna fix this pretty soon. But whatever. Unfortunately, I didn't have Fat Buu on this rotation, or I could have just Ghost Ushered. I was a little bit scared he was gonna super Wuhan and would just died, but I think Super Buu is gonna finish him off this turn. Was it 23 million? Yeah, it was 23, right? Yeah, bye, Gogeta. This one took me, I think, like 3 attempts or something. Same with Evolution Blue Vegeta, so not the end of the world. Of course, there are better teams, but this is still a pretty good performance. Now we're going up against Satan here, sort of Trunks with his stupid locking. I hate this mechanic so much, dude. Oh god, this is really frustrating to fight against, and this is something that I've noticed this team struggles a lot against. I'm also going up against Beast Gohan later in this video, and I remember, thank god, this Orange Piccolo doesn't lock as much as this Trunks does in this event, but it's still a huge pain in the ass. Thankfully, I have brought a lot of units that can handle this locking nonsense just fine. I just made sure that all of these units that are really vulnerable in slot 1 against SDR Trunks just aren't in slot 3 when I get and in slot 3 before I enter the SDR phase, so they don't get locked in slot 1, you know. And that's kind of how you have to approach this fight. Just be smart in what units you actually put in slot 3, because you need to make sure that they don't get don't get locked in slot 1. And of course, if you rotate them off, they will always come back in slot 1 3 turns later. And yeah, it's just really annoying. Of course, you don't really know which units they will seal. There's kind of a lot of RNG involved in all of this, but usually I have found almost every time I have a really weak slot 1 character in slot 1, he always locks that character in slot 1 and then just snipes them with the super. Like, it's like he knows which characters to seal and which not, you know. Now, I'm not really sure if it was the best idea to rotate off Golden Frieza on 17. Probably might have been a misplay. I don't remember how this all plays out, because I'm not sure that this team is gonna finish Trunks in 2 turns. I have units around that can actually lower his defense, namely both Zamasus. AGL Zamasu lowers defense, I think it even greatly lowers defense, and TEQ Zamasu also greatly lowers defense on the 12 key, or even massively, I think. So of course they can really help against the tankiness of this fight, because I mean, look at Buhan, the amount of damage he just did, pathetic, dude. Yeah, this is just once again kind of the weakness for this team build, which is why this wouldn't work against stuff like Goku and Frieza, for example, which have even higher rates of damage negation and stuff. But at least Trunks can be attack or defense debuffed, so you guys still have some ways to deal with this nonsense. And nice damage, guys, really. Okay, yeah, he locks Zamasu, which is completely irrelevant, but sure. Yeah, unfortunately, no, I don't think I have anything to fear here. I don't think TEQ Zamasu would be able to get one-shotted by Trunks, right? Yeah, of course, he locks this guy, attacks this guy, but he only took 100k, so it's not that bad. I think this was the Zamasu with 60% damage reduction still, because he had a really low attack stat actually, and I'm pretty sure Zamasu should have taken more damage than that, but whatever. Okay, so now that Trunks' defense got lowered a lot, I'm gonna do a lot of more damage. I also got really lucky that he didn't lock Golden Frieza on 17 in slot 1, because he just immediately supered again, like a little vulture that he is. Thankfully, Gohan is amazing, even in slot 1, and can handle such nonsense just fine. I don't think even if he would have gotten hit, I would have died or something like this, but of course, if you just can avoid all this damage altogether, it's even better. Okay, Golden Frieza on 17 after this should have their active skill ready. I think they did more than 4 attacks now, which is also good, although it's not really that important. Okay, they're popping off again with all these supers, sure. But it's not really that important for them, because this STR, the int sort of Trunks, of course, always only supers in slot 1. And I don't think even with the active skill they would have been able to tank his super slot 1 before they attack. Yeah, here I think, yeah, because he... Did he? No, who did he lock again? I wasn't paying attention. But I put Fat Buu in there because I wanted his revive to activate at that point. Yeah, I think he put AGL Zamasu in third slot 3, that's why I did that, right. Because TEQ Zamasu probably would have died from this. And this way I can just do that. Now he locks Gohan, just really annoying. Since the just super though, I was pretty sure he wouldn't super immediately again, so I was fine with just bringing or just putting Zamasu in slot 1 and not activating his domain just yet. I wanted to save that for sort of Hope Trunks actually. And since I have defense lowered this guy so much, Zamasu is doing a lot of damage actually against Trunks, and Trunks is now dead. And now we're going up against this annoying prick here. Yeah, I think, I don't remember. Oh yeah, right, I activated Buu's active skill now. This Ghost Usher and just gave myself a free turn. I'm also, of course, transforming into Super Buu. Unfortunately, I couldn't get the 18 key for Zamasu because that would have lowered Trunks' attack, which of course would have helped with his normals because they, I think, also do 1.5 million or something post Super. But the thing with Trunks is he is pretty frail once he goes into this phase. Like, he goes down very quickly, and you will see just how much damage he's gonna take next turn. And also close to the Dokkan attack, I think. You know, now I'm activating Zamasu's domain, and one good thing about Zamasu is he nullifies attacks completely. He doesn't just tank 0 damage, he just completely nullifies them. And you're gonna see the difference in that because Trunks also has this really annoying ability where, yeah, see? When he supers, he also stuns the targeted character, and this doesn't of course happen when the attack just gets nullified like this, you know. So that's one of the really good things about Zamasu's domain as well. There of course are a lot of characters like Beast Gohan and stuff which can easily tank Trunks' super. Yeah, goodbye Trunks by the way. But if they get sealed or stunned, of course they can't really retaliate, and it's also really annoying for the Dokkan mode, but with Zamasu you don't have this problem. Now we're going up against Red Zone Kid Buu. This fight was kind of a joke, not gonna lie, only took me one attempt. Yeah, Zamasu's team is actually pretty well equipped against Kid Buu because, like I said, not a lot. One of the biggest weaknesses for a lot of teams right now is that they are not really that good on the first couple of turns, and that they kind of need to build up a little bit. And a lot of these newer fights are pretty ridiculous early on. Like this Kid Buu, for example, he can hit really hard, and you just need something that can deal with super in the second turn. Now, Zamasu's team, of course, has so many ridiculous units that are just gods in their first turn, like both 6-year anniversary LRs, Easy A's, who are just god turn 1. Zamasu also untouchable with its 80% damage reduction. Golden Frieza and 17 are also invincible slot in the first rotation. So this team really doesn't struggle a lot, even though this fight is actually pretty bad for Zamasu because in Kid Buu, not only does he have type advantage over Zamasu, he also nullifies physical attacks, which is really stupid, or not stupid, but it's really bad for Zamasu because on his 18 key, which would actually help in this fight because it lowers attack, he nullifies that shit. So he doesn't get any of these debuffs off, of course, against Kid Buu. Luckily, I have a lot of characters that can just quickly make work of Kid Buu. Like Evo can just completely destroy this fight. Goku and Vegeta, even though both their 12 keys are useless against Kid Buu, can also dish out a lot of damage against Kid Buu, and yeah. I also brought Physical Goku Black simply because of his greatly attack raise and because he does a Keyblast super, so at least he can damage Kid Buu. Kid Buu almost always supers in slot 1, so I wasn't really too worried about anything here. Just hashtag believe in AGL UI Goku, and he just does his job, he just dodges everything. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people notice this as well, and I've also noticed this already. Like both UI Gokus, like AGL UI Goku and SDI UI Goku, have a great chance to dodge, I think. But for some reason, AGL UI Goku just dodges way more often than SDI UI Goku. I don't know why that is. It honestly kind of feels like your SDI UI Goku is bugged or something. because there's like no way. Like so many people have already experienced this, where he just takes attack after attack after attack after attack. He just doesn't dodge anything. Like it's so ridiculous, dude. I don't know what's wrong with this character, really. With LR UI Goku, it's like kind of the opposite, where he just dodges everything, basically. Yeah, now here's the stupid attack notification, of course. Really annoying, of course, like I said. Now he retaliates with his super. Yeah, only 12k, even though that wasn't even Vegeta with his full damage reduction. Yeah, this character is just dumb, dude. Now Golden Frieza and 17 once again go to town. And this unit, I just love them so much, dude. I've always loved this moment from Dragon Ball Super when Golden Frieza and 17 work together against Jiren. Easily one of my favorite moments in the show, even though it's probably kind of underrated. And of course I always loved this unit, but unfortunately they were never really that good. But now the Easy A is just beyond stupid. And I can actually enjoy running this unit now. And since they don't have any of these stupid restrictions a lot of units have these days, you can just run them anywhere. Of course, they don't really have a lot of categories, but you can run them on the Master Team just fine, and they do their job perfectly. Of course, their attack stats and stuff like that won't be as high as if you run them on TEQ LR Goku's team, for example, but they get the job done. And this fight is over because Evoken is just melting Kid Buu here. Yeah, goodbye. Okay, now we're going up against Beast Gohan in the Dragon Ball Super Memorable Battles event. I also did a successful run against Beast Gohan and the Dragon Ball Super, in the Supreme Magnificent Battle event. The problem is my footage got erased, and I kinda didn't want to do this thing over and over again, so I just decided to just stick to this Beast Gohan battle. But honestly, both of these fights are pretty annoying, not gonna lie. Beast Gohan is actually, I would argue that he's not as tough as Blue Gogeta, but for weaker teams he kind of is tougher than Gogeta, because of course this stupid locking can really screw over your rotations really hard, and that's of course something that affects weaker teams a lot more than stronger teams, you know. With superheroes where you have 3 target skills available to you, you don't really care if characters get rotation locked, but with a team like this where fixed rotations are kind of important, it does make a difference. Now the good thing about characters like Zamasu or also all of these Buu characters is, yes, they do get of course a lot of stuff from their links, like we had bad bosses and all these Majin Buu links, but they are thankfully designed in a way, and I've always wanted that for villains, where it doesn't really matter too much if you get their links or not. Of course, yes, they get a lot of extra stats from links, sure, but you don't need these extra stats for them to perform well, you know. They can still do their job even without all these extra stats. It's just then, if you do have the extra stats from all the links, they of course perform way better, you know. And I think that's the design philosophy that should just implement for every villain at this point, because then this also solves a lot of these team building issues that villains have. But yeah, for this team I also brought all of these broken 60th anniversary LRs once again. I've also brought Gogeta because his target skill of course really helps against this annoying rotation locking, and just in case the Beast Gohan at the end does something funny. I was also trying to be cheeky and brought SDR Vegeta, although I could already tell it could be difficult for them to transform. Thankfully, I will get lucky enough to actually be able to forward out 70% HP and transform, thank god. Here, yeah, I put them in slot 1 because I actually want them to take some damage, and that was the correct choice because Piccolo immediately supers. Thankfully, this Piccolo is a weakling, so he doesn't really hurt all that much. And now I'm below 70% HP, so all I have to do is next turn not die, but also not heal too much, so I can actually stay below 70% HP. We'll see how that turns out. I also kept Gogeta on rotation because next turn he can also transform, and I rotated off Zamasu. I'm not even sure if I get the... I think, yeah. Oh yeah, wait. We'll see at the end, but Zamasu is gonna help a lot on this team as well. Now I stuck at Buu because I didn't want to heal from transforming into Gohan, and he gets actually tagged by a super. I didn't expect that, to be honest. And Buu dies here, but it's fine because UI Goku can revive, of course. And thank god I took so much damage with Vegeta because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to revive. And thank God that the 6-year anniversary LRs don't revive with 100% HP but only with 70%, because now I can transform into Vegeta and I can also transform into Gogeta, and now everything is fine. Of course, Vegeta, his counter is a really strong tool, and especially when you have a character like Zamasu who can transform into an invincible being, basically, that's a really good combo, because then you can just put Zamasu in front of all these super attacks, you know exactly where they are, and you just don't really take a lot of damage. Now in this fight, it doesn't really come into play too much, because Beast Gohan can double super, and also Beast Gohan is a scripted fight where he always supers in slot 1, he always supers in slot 3, so you don't really need this counter to predict all these attacks, but I mean, this doesn't really apply against Orange Piccolo, of course, and also it's just a nice combo in general, not just in this fight, you know. But I at least wanted to show this off as well. Now, Zamasu actually takes a lot of damage from Piccolo, not gonna lie, but it's fine because I have Wu-Tanks around. Now I am transforming with my Zamasu. You could of course say, oh no, you're debuffing all of your superclass units, but I mean, set huge superclass units are the 6th-year anniversary LRs, Blue Gogeta, who can 100% dodge with his target skill, and Super Vegeta. Yeah, I don't think I have much to worry about here, dude. And also, this is of course debuffing the enemy as well, you know, they're gonna take a lot of more damage this way. I'm pretty sure Orange Piccolo is done for this turn. Even though right now he doesn't really take a lot of damage, but like I said, Vegeta and stuff, these 6-year anniversary units are just so ridiculously broken, not just offensively, or not just defensively, but also offensively, because they're of course doing shit out of crits and stuff. And I mean, this isn't even close to Vegeta's maximum attack stat. Like, I got him to like 40 million already on superheroes and UI Goku's team and stuff like that, you know. Okay, now this turn, I'm activating UI Goku's active skill, of course, and I didn't use Gogeta's active here because honestly, Goku got his revive off, which means this turn he has 100% dodge, so I had nothing to worry about him. Blue Gogeta, even though he doesn't guard anymore, he's not gonna die from these normals against Beast Gohan, even with the domain up, like no way. And also he has 70% dodge chance, let's not forget that. And Super Vegeta at the end, he still guards, and his defense isn't anything to sneeze at either, so I'm not really worried about him. And this way I could at least get some counters out of Vegeta, you know. And let's not forget, Zamasu isn't on this turn, but he buffs this damage a lot. I mean, Beast Gohan is getting melted right now, dude, holy shit. Yeah, and think, yeah, I remember this. I remember this a lot. You're gonna see what happens right soon. But this is his last counter here, and Gohan survives with little help, and then he supers, dude. I was thinking, like, if Vegeta died there, that would have been so stupid, dude. I would have been so mad if Vegeta died over by that super. You know, just survive with the tiniest amount of health, and then get one shot by a super or something. Like, that would have been so stupid. But I survived, just fine. Zamasu eat all of his attacks just fine. He does his Dokkan attack, and that's the end for Beast Gohan. Yeah, 20 million, pretty good. Yeah, the domain really helps with the extra damage against superclass units. Okay, so now I'm going up against Red Zone Movie Boss Rush. I am back to using a full Extreme Class lineup for this, even though I could have easily brought all of these broken Superclass units once again and just demolish this fight this way. But I wanted to bring the Extreme Class units because, first of all, I wanted to see how high I can get Buhan's defensive stat, because of course in this event he can stay at Wu-Tanks for a little bit longer and just stack defense on his 18 key. And I also wanted to test out AJ or Zamasu in this event, who also can stack a lot and of course also you know, become really good defensively in this run. Yeah, first off I had to of course set up my rotations here a little bit. Thankfully these earlier stages in this event are pretty weak. Honestly, up until Bojack, these bosses are complete pushover, like not threatening whatsoever, so you have a lot of time to set up your rotations just fine. Now unfortunately, this event is probably Zamasu's weakest stage in the game, because of course Zamasu thrives in short content, and this is the exact opposite of short content. And also it's not like Cell Max, which is also pretty long because this fight just takes forever. But at least Cell Max is ridiculous early on, and you can't really say the same thing about this event. Like, does Piccolo's even crack a million attack on his super? I don't think so. And even if he does at this point, a million on a super is a joke, dude. Like, this is not threatening whatsoever. Good thing is, of course, since this fight is so long, I think I could get the domain off with both Zamasus, and it was also kind of my goal here to have it so I can at least always have one Zamasu in his domain, so at least they are completely invincible. And also Zamasu gives 70% defense to Worldwide Chaos when you get enough key once he transforms, which of course also really helps with units like AGL Zamasu, who I will keep in rotation with TEQ Zamasu, of course. Yeah, this is against Lord Slug now. Like I said, these earlier stages are really not that difficult. Really easy. It already really gets bad once you go up against Bojack, but thankfully you can prepare for that, you know. Yeah, these earlier stages, like I said, just basically take a lot of time. Honestly, there's not really much I can focus or commentate on here. Really not that difficult. I think I'm actually finishing Slug off in one rotation. If they keep critting, of course, which I think they do on this as well. Yeah, good, thank God. Not having to spend too much time on these earlier stages, of course, good. Cooler here, he has a counter on super, which doesn't even hit that hard. Yeah, really not that threatening. And then AGL Android 13, he can cancel dodge. No, he can't cancel dodge, unlike his original Red Zone version. And he just doesn't really hit all that hard either, you know. I don't really understand why they had to remove the dodge cancelling from 13. I understand why they did that for Broly, and I think that's fine, but for 13, they really could have given him the dodge cancelling, because honestly, even if they did, this fight wouldn't have been that threatening, you know. But I guess they just wanted to have these early opening phases to be complete pushovers, you know. Now, yeah, AGL Zamasu, of course, is at double digits, what a surprise. I also tried running an early attempt into Goku Black, because he can also, you know, attack, defense stack, but he just doesn't stack fast enough. This dude is just complete trash, honestly. Like, he wasn't good when he dropped, because he's way better against superclass units, which we didn't really have a lot of superclass enemies back when he dropped last year. And also all of these fights were short fights, which of course is also really bad for a defense stacker like Goku Black. And now we have longer fights, but they're against extreme class, and Goku Black can't even stack fast enough, so he is even remotely helpful in this fight. It's honestly just sad, you know. I also wanted to try out into Piccolo Jr. in this video against one of these stages, but honestly I tried him out a little bit against some of these stages, but he wasn't really performing all that well, honestly. And one of the reasons, I think, is because a lot of these bosses do this annoying rotation locking, which is of course really bad for Piccolo, because he's definitely a slot 2 unit, not a slot 1 unit. And so against Trunks and both these Gohan fights, he was already out of the question for me, honestly. And I also didn't really want to run against Blue Gogeta, because that AoE would just destroy Piccolo. That's just the way it is. So I couldn't really try him out. I will probably do a revisit on him and 23rd World Tournament Goku also, because these two are probably my favorite units from 2023, and I just want to see how well they perform. Although I can already tell the Piccolo Jr. video is probably gonna be a nightmare, because yeah, his team is a complete clusterfuck. His team is just so weird, dude. And he doesn't really have other good setups right now. Like, his other good really team is probably just the Masu's team, Worldwide Chaos, because he doesn't really have anything else. Now, people have been speculating that OG Dragon Ball could be Worldwide Celebration this year. I would be all for that. Please, for the love of God, give us some OG Dragon Ball representation. And of course, if they drop a really busted Demon King Piccolo, that could easily revitalize Piccolo Jr., you know? So hopefully they're gonna do this. If it's Broly for Worldwide, first of all, that would be really stupid, because we already got a Broly this year, and he would not even be able to link well with the new Broly if it's also another Super Saiyan one. and also I just don't really care for Z Broly, so honestly I wouldn't skip that worldwide celebration of course, but I probably wouldn't really spend a lot of stones in there, you know, which is of course also a good thing for my wallet, I guess. So either way I win basically. But okay, and we're going up against Bojack. Yeah, this phase of course is really annoying because of this stupid rotation locking that he always does, and he also seals, like just a really cancerous combination. Thankfully this dumbass here rotation locked the unit that is invincible. Yeah, good job Moron. This way, I think, yeah, now is the time to transform to Gohan. And he has a lot of defense, of course, because I was able to stack so much. At this point, he could even eat a super from Brody at the end. He would just survive just fine, you know. And so this, I have nothing to fear for Gohan anymore. And also his attack stat is really high already, even though this is only his first appearance. His stats are gonna fluctuate a lot in this one, I think. I think it was this one where sometimes I got really high attack stats for him, and sometimes really low, you know. And of course, TEQ Buu is also fantastic against Red Zone Broly at the end, because of course type benches 70% damage reduction. That's just a really good combination. Bojack survived with a sliver of health. Actually, the way these rotations panned out are perfect. This way I can put Zamasu back with the TEQ Zamasu, that's perfect. And then I will have Super Buu with Fat Boost to both boost together, and then I can rotate a Gohan again, and all the Boos are on the same rotation again. Now we're going up against Ingenember. Thankfully now I can activate the domain with the other Zamasu, because even though this Ingenember is really not that threatening, honestly, Zamasu would still get one-shotted by a super, obviously. Type disadvantage with only 40% damage reduction, yeah, that's not enough, dude. Not even close. Yeah, thank you for the attacks, Moron. Does he even super this turn? I don't remember. I think, yeah, he does. Okay, thank you. Nice try though. Zamasu, this Zamasu of course also does a lot of damage. Gohan with 20 million, pretty good. Yeah. This Genember phase is a wrap, I think. Not really much he can do now. I don't think I'm gonna do a lot of damage, and not enough attacks to fill up a Rage Meter just now, but I'm pretty close already. He's definitely gonna survive this turn though, because it's like I said, this team doesn't have the greatest firepower offensively, but it's fine. At this point, Fat Buu has done so many supers that he can just stay in slot 1 and at least soak up all of these normals, and even if he gets tagged by a super, just assuming he even dies, he can just revive, you know. So Fat Buu, of course, pretty much invincible at this turn. Golden Frieza on 17, as long as they are in slot 2 or 3, they don't have anything to fear either. And also I can always just activate their standby there. And at that point, once they activate their active skill, they are completely invincible as well. He didn't even super this turn, didn't even bother, I guess. Now we're against physical Genember, but yeah, I'm just gonna put the invincible unit in slot 1, of course. I'm not... Yeah, okay, I'll transform with Zamasu. Probably, was it the good choice? I don't know. I wanted to finish off this phase as soon as possible, I guess, but I could have also greeted out another defense stack for Zamasu, I guess. But I guess because AG1 Zamasu was at almost 1 million defense at that point, I decided it was probably enough defense stacking, but maybe it was a mistake, I don't know. But actually I was a little bit disappointed that he didn't finish off on Genember because he only did 1 super, but whatever. It does kind of suck because I'm wasting another turn basically of being completely invincible, but at least I still have 1 more turn left of Infinite Zamasu against Brody. That's really good. And also once he's out of that transformation, I mean, he's TEQ, 40% damage reduction, he should be more than fine against Brody, honestly. Now here I activate the active skill just in case Brody double supers, because he just immediately supers. So he has a high chance to do that again this turn, but I'm not sure if he does actually. Not a lot of damage, of course. Yeah, that's one of the things, of course, with Infinite Zamasu. The base form TEQ Zamasu does way more damage, of course, than this Zamasu. But I guess you have to have some kind of trade-off if you're a villain, at least. If you're a superclass unit, you can be invincible completely completely god stomp everything and also do 50 billion in damage or something, you know. But if you're an extreme class unit, you have to be restricted somehow, you know. Okay, he only supered once this turn. Yeah, at this point, there's not really anything I have to fear, honestly. The Boos are completely safe from Broly. I don't have anything to fear here. He supers immediately against TEQ Buu, actually. Only 200k attack, no, only 200k damage, that's pretty pathetic. And this was before Buu supered, of course. Otherwise, his attack stat would have been way higher. Gohan would have taken even less from this, considering how high his defense is already. If he even got hit, of course. And then Zamasu, of course, with his 30 million. Also pretty good. Get some nice defense raises in there. And Broly actually does supers here. Of course he does that now, but Zamasu takes this relatively well. Of course not as well as Buu did earlier, but it is what it is, of course. And at this point I still have Majin Buu's Ghost Usher, which of course I'm gonna use now. The thing about Buu is his healing. I mean, you're seeing I've only healed like 200k HP or something. Like, honestly, his healing is kind of underwhelming. Not gonna lie. Everyone thought when Buu's details dropped that it was basically a full heal always, but it doesn't seem to be the case really. Whatever. It's not like I'm gonna need the extra HP because, well, first of all the Buus, yeah, see the healing, almost back at 4 HP. I'm pretty sure I'm finishing off Broly this turn. I didn't even get the second Dokkan attack, but it didn't matter. This was still a run. Yeah, but he does get his additional super Evo boost, so that's good. And goodbye, Broly. Yeah, nice super. I don't think, does this even do damage? Yeah. Gohan's attack stat this turn, of course, is way lower because he doesn't have big bad bosses, but it's still enough to finish off Broly. So that was movie boss rush. I think this took me also 2 or 3 attempts or something, because like I said, one time I was foolish enough to bring Int Goku Black and paid the price dearly, but whatever. And now we're going up against Cell Max. Honestly, I wasn't even sure if I should include this in the video or not, because I have already done a run with TEQ Zamasu's team against Cell Max when I only brought those shitty 2023 units, and I still know I did this event just fine. But I just wanted to show Zamasu's team when you don't restrict yourself and just basically bring all your best units against this fight. And let's just say it's a complete cakewalk with this team. Like, this was a one attempt run. Just one attempt. Just bring and all of these broken 60th anniversary units, bring TEQ UI Goku for his domain, just do a lot of damage against Cell Max, and then of course Rildo with his attack lowering and his defense and his super sealing, and then the androids with their Ghost Usher and stuff, and it's a wrap, dude. Honestly, nothing to fear about this team. All you have to do is survive past turn 3 and you're done, basically. Also, thank God I was below 70% HP, because now I have UI Goku's revive active. Because spoiler warning, Rildo is gonna get attacked and he's actually not gonna survive that, even though with full orb field here. If Rildo was rainbowed, I probably would have survived that, but mine is only at 55%, so yeah, shit out of luck, but doesn't matter. I revived and basically got a free turn for this, and now I can activate the android's Ghost Usher and I win. At this point, there's nothing he can do anymore, because next turn, since UI Goku just revived, he has a 100% dodge chance, of course, so I can just put him in slot 2-1. I can put Rildo in slot 2, he's gonna debuff Cell Max into Oblivion and just completely neuter him, and at that point you can just start the the super sealing loop against Cell Max, where you just keep him sealed on every turn and just start lowering his attack over and over again, and at that point Cell Max is a joke. Like, there's nothing he can do anymore, just a complete cakewalk, and yeah, this is basically a wrap. Not really much else to commentate here, honestly. Just at this point, you're just whittling him down as fast as possible. Even though, I mean, you can just take your sweet time at this point, because there's nothing he can do anymore to damage you. This is over. But of course, I didn't want to spend 50 years on this fight, so that's why I also brought TEQ UI Goku to speed up the process a little bit and do a lot of damage, even though, I mean, it definitely helps, but it's not like I'm one-shotting Zamasu, you know, he still has 300 million HP. But yeah, this is basically just a revisit of Zamasu in the current meta, and I mean, Zamasu, of course, isn't like some secret sleeper option or anything. Like, I wouldn't say he is like top 5 or anything, even though his team is still pretty good and can clear all of these events just fine, even with no items. But of course, at this point, there are just way better options, and of course, being in a long event meta actually hurts him more than it helps him, because Zamasu is definitely not a unit that is designed for long events, even though he has this domain, and of course, because domains can't really overlap with each other, you can't usually run him on its full potential, because you have to make some sacrifices, you know? Like here I have used UI Goku's domain, because I can, at this point, I don't need Infinite Zamasu against Salmax, but in a different run this would have been really bad, because then I couldn't transform into Infinite Zamasu, and yeah, at that point with only 40% damage reduction, he's not, of course, defensively well enough against all of these really hard-hitting bosses. One thing that still really helps a lot is the attack lowering, of course, on his 18 key. That helps against bosses like Gogeta and stuff, but for example, I think Goku and Frieza can be debuffed attack-wise, so that's not gonna hurt, that's not gonna help against them. And they're probably gonna release more bosses that are immune to debuffs, just to screw us over even more. Even though I kinda hope they keep releasing bosses that just aren't immune to anything and just can be tackled with strategies. I think these bosses are way more fun than just these generic stat beat sticks. They just do a shit ton of damage and there's nothing you can do about it, you know? But anyway, I still hope that the domain update, or at least that they will ever change the domains the way they are working, so you can overlap more units with their different domains and stuff, or at least make it so domains cancel each other. That's honestly all I need, because then you can at least run Zamasu on super bosses as well. But with the way the team is designed right now, there's like no way I'm running Zamasu on that team. You would have to sacrifice Broly or Rosé's domains for this, and of course that's not gonna happen. So yeah, unfortunately he got kind of screwed over by this whole domain nonsense, but his own team can hold up more than fine enough, even without Broly and Rosé. Do I think he's better than Vegeta or the other Worldwide Celebration LRs? Well, he's definitely better than Trunks. Honestly, Trunks isn't really all that good. I mean, he can work fine in some events, but he's not really all that great. Future Gohan also can be really good in some events and can also get destroyed in others, especially in longer events. And Vegeta Blue, the thing about Vegeta Blue is he works better on a team that is weaker, because you need to be below 70% HP on turn 5, otherwise if you can transform with him, it's game over, because his base form is just pitifully weak. But the thing, of course, is Vegeta Blue's team itself is way better than Zamasu's, because it has all of these ridiculously broken superclass units and Beast Gohan and stuff like that. But by bringing all these units, you also basically make it so that Vegeta can never transform. So it's actually funny, Vegeta's team is just super busted, but Vegeta himself is kind of the losing condition on that team, because he's just such dead weight on the team. And Zamasu isn't really like that, I feel like. Like, yes, of course, like the 6th-year anniversary LRs and UI Goku and stuff like that are way better than Zamasu, of course. But it doesn't feel like they have to drag Zamasu along, you know? He does provide value to the team. And that's something that I just can't really see in Vegeta, you know? So yeah, I do think actually he is the best Worldwide Celebration LR now. Back then, when all them dropped, it was probably Future Gohan and then Zamasu. But at this point, I'd take Zamasu over Future Gohan any day. Because honestly, which team are you even running Future Gohan on, you know? So yeah, this was the revisit for Zamasu in the 2024 meta before the Worldwide Celebration, but it's probably gonna be another meta shift. Hopefully it's not gonna be the same nonsense they did it last year, where it's just the same fight over and over and over again in the red zone, and then culminating in the most cancerous, toxic fight ever imaginable with Fusion Zamasu. Hopefully they've learned their lesson from the backlash from last year and make these new events interesting, fun, and unique, and make it so not 99% of the game gets screwed over again. I kinda get tired of this, honestly. But yeah, this was Max, this was the video. Let me know what you guys think about Fusion Zamasu, and see you all next week.